Hey, what's up everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so decided I'd take the long walk to the what do you call it? To the I got a few things I want to do today. I'm gonna keep it local, but I'm gonna try to go to Trader Joe's, get some more of that salmon that I just purchased a couple days ago. My first mind told me to get 2 of them, and I only purchased 1. I loved it, so I'm gonna try to buy some more. I also want to grab a few things from maybe Target, but I think the main thing I need to do is grab what I need to pay the rent off, because of course room day is on Saturday this cycle, but I have my appointment on Saturday morning, so I asked my uncle to send that in early, and it's in, so I got several options in regards to getting that. But I feel like taking a nice long walk, I guess, rather than going back to a 7-Eleven, for which the ATM was broken last time anyway. And so walking back that way is kind of out of the way for no reason. Doesn't have to be that type of trip. I can just like very easily walk in the right direction if I gotta walk that long way anyway. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. Just go down there to the police station and get the money, and then head over to Traders, and then head back up this way, or go to Traders first and then head over there and then come back after that. So I'm not really sure. I'll just follow my nose right now. But yeah, man, it's a good day. I mean, it's kind of warm. It's hotter than it looks. It looks gloomy, but it's like freaking feels like it's 80 degrees. Not the greatest feeling, but walk through it. And yeah, man, I feel all right. No complaints here. I'm thinking about what's going on in the world, of course. Everything going on in my life is cool. I can't complain. Just looking forward to getting some answers on my health. And this gastroenterologist, or however you say that, meeting is very important on Saturday. So I just want to make sure I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do to lead up to that, to make sure that I'm on time and ready to go. So did laundry yesterday. Decided to stay home, and wasn't overly productive at all after that. Didn't do any art, didn't do any playlist work. So yesterday was not my most productive day, but I did do my exercise and all that stuff. Made some videos on some things yesterday, as you guys can see there if you're interested. So, you know, that's kind of what it's been for the last 24 hours. And you know, just absorbing all the news out there, man. What's going on in Lebanon is really terrible, man. They sent 100 missiles on civilian areas in Lebanon yesterday morning. In a matter of 10 minutes, 100 missiles. Killing thousands of people. Hurting thousands of people. I'm not sure what the death toll is, but thousands of people were hurt. Many killed. The footage is Gaza-esque. For those of us who've been watching this genocide in Gaza, this is just another day. They're doing the same thing to a different nation, as I told you they would. And I'm telling you now, they're going to keep on doing this in different places as we continue to let them get away with it. That bloodthirst doesn't go away. So me saying that has aged very well, unfortunately. You knew that they were going to likely want to colonize more land, and we know that their method of doing so is to kill innocent people and destroy the land and demolish all buildings with people in them, which is especially unnecessary when you consider how powerful these people are. They're powerful as hell. They own damn near everything, including media and governments. If they wanted to do this in a humane way, they could effectively colonize these lands and destroy these buildings without harming anybody. That's what's so incredibly real. It's not like you can't find another way to do this. You very much have the power to do this many different ways. You're choosing to harm these people. You're choosing to inflict a great deal of harm. So that's the part that's really disgusting in and of itself. Colonizing somebody's land is one thing, but tearing buildings down with people in them and doing psychological methods against people is crazy, man. You know, they bombed Christian churches, they bombed a synagogue. Mind you, it's supposed to be Jews, right? This is a Jewish land for Jewish people. They bombed a synagogue in Lebanon. They're bombing indiscriminately, and they're essentially saying they're looking for Hezbollah, and Hezbollah is hiding amongst the civilian population. So they gotta, of course, target the civilian population to effectively eliminate Hezbollah. And of course, this is the exact same thing they did with Hamas, and it holds about as much validity as that Hamas narrative did, of course. When you show people they can get away with something, and they already evil enough to do something like this, of course they're going to try it again. Of course they're going to run the same play. Of course they're going to play the world for stupid. But my thing is it's especially evil and cruel to, once again, when you have all the power, the UN is doing your bidding, the American president is doing your bidding, you got Argentina in your back pocket, you got France pretty much aligning with you more or less, you got a good portion of the Middle East, surrounding countries aligning with you. You could very easily handle things in a way that's a bit more humane and palatable for the human mind. And they just choose not to. They choose the more vicious and more disrespectful way of doing things. This is why you understand this is a demonic entity. This is not just simply ambitious colonizers who don't believe in God. These are people who especially believe in Satan. And this is what I've been trying to explain to people. I've been seeing that throughout this process before that information started to become clear to all of us. I was already sensing that just by the behavior and the unnecessary cruelty in all of their actions. Now, of course, it's been revealed to us a lot more of the details of how that actually is the case. And so what's going on in Lebanon, you see the bodies now. They killed another press member, by the way, yesterday. I saw his body. A little girl, a 9-year-old, was shot in the head at school. They targeted her in her school, shot her in front of her classmates. God knows why they targeted her. But they assassinated her in class with a sniper. Like, this is what I'm saying. It's like, it's not, for all of my people who follow me, the people who are doing this are not just atheist capitalists. They're not. They have a special intention on following something that is specifically aligned with satanic energy. Their intention is to do the will of the enemy of God. You understand what I'm saying to you? This is not just some people who are saying, oh, well, we're Jewish, but actually we don't believe in nothing. We're just doing whatever we want to do. No. These people have a very intentional playbook that is meant to inflict pain, enact cruelty, belittle those who are onlooking, make fun, gaslight, lie intentionally. They are playing in people's faces just like a devil would. They move as Satan would. He is literally doing his bidding through them in human form. And that's what I've been trying to get people to understand. Like, this ain't just land grabbing. This ain't just capitalism. It's not just people who are out of control doing horrible things. These are specific intentions that have been written and that are being followed. And because you understand that, you know to expect for this to continue elsewhere. And I'm telling you, I am 100% certain that they are going to do this in other places when they're done creating Greater Israel and building Pax Judaica. They're going to do this to others. They're going to do everything they're doing right now. They're going to do it to other people, man, that don't necessarily see it coming for whatever set of reasons. And that's why I am starting to believe that it's going to require some very drastic measures, some unprecedented measures to effectively save the world from this idea, from this ideology, man. And that's, you know, you have to get extreme. Unfortunately, you have to think extreme, and you gotta do things that don't really match what it is you've been taught in order to be effective. And I don't know that the world is quite there yet as it pertains to coming to that conclusion at all. I don't think we're anywhere near that. But I do believe that when they do as much damage as they're ultimately going to do, you would have wished that you cut this at the root sooner. The conclusion that you're going to come to how to overcome this, you will have wished you would have thought of that significantly sooner. Diplomacy is not the way when you're talking about this type of entity and this collective organized intention to inflict cruelty. You do not handle this with the same diplomacy that you would the average circumstance, because this is not the average circumstance. But we're not, as a collective unit, the world is not quite there yet. They're not there yet. They're still trying to reason with these folks, and we do a ceasefire. If they come to an agreement, we come to agreement. If they don't agree with us, then we'll proceed to bomb them. Like, they don't give a shit about any of that. And that we're moving in a way that speaks to that being what we're thinking tells me, specifically this thought brain, that the people who are dealing with this still don't quite get it yet. They don't quite understand what they're dealing with. Like, I'm watching Iran and how they're moving. I respect what they're doing. I like that they're, protecting themselves and taking up arms against this entity in Israel. That is something that is necessary. They look like the good guys in this world. But there is something that I cannot shake in regards to this Iranian situation. And one thing I can't shake about the Iranians is that, why are they trying to be diplomatic with Israel and put forth a good word as it pertains to, okay, we'll negotiate with them and agree to a ceasefire? Why would you even approach them that way if you've been doing the same homework the rest of us have been doing? If you've been watching them the way we've been watching them, then you understand they're going to betray all ceasefires. They have never agreed to any ceasefire that they've done with Palestine or Hamas or whomever that word would be. They never actually follow through on their ceasefire agreements. If anything, they turn up the heat after shaking hands, which is something that we mentioned a few days ago. And this 100 bombs in 10 minutes, that's exactly what this was. This was in a direct response to the ceasefire agreement that America agreed with in regards to Iran. Apparently, Donald Trump thought it would be a good idea to take on this agreement without involving Israel. And so Israel's response is to obviously sabotage said ceasefire. And that's exactly what they did. But if you're Iran, why are you even sitting at the table with these people? Knowing that their very consistent behavior is to betray a ceasefire agreement. America and Israel is not to be separated. That's the first thing I want to clarify in my thinking. You don't separate them at all, because Israel is more or less blackmailing America right now. That's obvious. It's a very serious thing going on with that, and America doesn't have the right to defend itself based on what it's trying to protect in doing Israel's interest. That part is clear to everybody. Everybody who's watching, that's the only conclusion that makes any sense. Why big country is doing little country's bidding, fighting little country's war, sending its own people out to die for little country's interests. It's because little country has something on big country, something that is so serious that big country gonna do whatever little country say. That's what's going on. That's obvious. That's more than obvious. So if you understand that's what you're dealing with, then you know better than to separate the two. And if big country wants to buck little country in any way, you have to know that there's probably some stuff going on behind the scenes to where that's not actually what it is. It just seems that way. Whatever the case may be, if you're going to do a deal, a ceasefire deal with this entity, you do understand that they will not abide by any agreement in that regard. They will not. And sitting down with them and expecting they do at this point is not sensical at all. It's nonsensical. And so I'm confused as to why they even thought that that would be something that could accomplish anything positive at all. And so as a result, Iran may have coerced indirectly the fate of those individuals who died in Lebanon. Because if you don't have that ceasefire deal, I don't know that Lebanon doesn't get hit that hard that day. And judging by what we've seen in regards to this same thing with Hamas versus Israel and ceasefire agreements, this is what you expect. That they're going to do something ridiculously cruel after being proposed a ceasefire. It's like they're offended by the word ceasefire. You bring a ceasefire to me and I'm going to kill everybody over there. Because F you for even coming to me thinking that I'm about to go along with a ceasefire. And F you for even wasting my time thinking that peace is something I would ever agree to with you. That's essentially the message that Israel has sent everybody who's ever sat down with them for a ceasefire. They shake their hands with the ceasefire, and then they proceed to breathe fire into innocent people. It's a message sent each time, and it's like the world is not quite understanding that message. It's not they're not getting the message. I, random individual, gets the message. I understand. I would never propose to the Jews a ceasefire, because if I do that, what they're going to do is hurt innocent people in response to that ceasefire. They're going to agree to that ceasefire, and they're going to harm some random people because of it. And so if you don't get that, at this point, either you're not paying attention to what I'm paying attention to, or you don't mind what happens there. And that's why I'm sitting here and I'm wondering what the hell's going on with Iran. And another thing I got to ask about Iran is, okay, America and Israel came together and decided that they were going to bring that bull crap your way. You knew this was your enemy. You've known this is your enemy. You saw the same stuff that we've been seeing for the last 25 years. Benjamin Netanyahu's trying to get every president we've ever had to bomb the shit out of y'all. You knew that was your enemy. You've known that was your enemy for 25, 30, 40 years. You've known that Israel, as soon as they intended to make Israel in 1947, they saw you as a threat. For your religious circumstances and your power and the infrastructure of your land. You knew they saw you as the biggest threat to them being able to build that thing the way that they want to build it. You've been enemies with these assholes for as long as they've been standing. So for me, I'm wondering why Iran didn't blow them bastards off the map at any given point until right now. You and I, Iran and Bdf 44 have watched this genocide in Palestine for 3 years. And yes, it has been said that one of the reasons why Israel is angry with Iran is that they've been funding the resistance. Okay, you threw some money at your homies and told them to handle their own problems. Why didn't you help them more so when you got all of this? You hit Israel with what? 1,000 missiles in about how long has it been? 3 weeks? You decimated that place. You couldn't do that up until this point. You let all them Palestinian people die. And what am I looking at here? I need to ask, what am I looking at here? Because I can pretend like I'm not seeing all this shit, but the way my brain works, I'm very much seeing all of this shit. And I'm supposed to ignore that you had the ability to do that to them and decided to do so now when they decided to bring that issue to you. You were funding the resistance, but you didn't throw any bombs in the direction to save any of them damn people. You didn't send any of your own men over there to help them people. The best you could do was send money. If somebody I care about is in the presence of what it is that Palestine was faced with over the last 3 years. No, the last 75 years. And they're trying to defend themselves, and I have the power and the strength of Iran. You trying to tell me the best I can do is funding their foot soldiers? Come on, dog. Stop playing me. I'm not that type of stupid, man. My brain won't turn that off. I speculate. My gut is telling me there's some leaks over there. My gut tells me that there are a few people over there that are not too unhappy about what's going on here. And you know, another thing I can't shake about this Iranian situation, you and I both know your enemy is as dangerous as they've proven themselves to be. Why was your leader stationary in country with his grandchild in huggable proximity to him when you got these assholes intentional on killing him? Why was that baby in the house? You know these people kill children. Why was he stationary? Why wasn't he somewhere else? Why wasn't he in a neutral land where he couldn't get touched? I need somebody to help me understand why this man, this 80-something-year-old man, was able to be targeted and killed with his grandbaby in the house. None of his people told him this was a bad idea, bro. That you got very dangerous and killing enemies that's get off on killing kids, and you're gonna allow your grandbaby to be anywhere near you when that situation is coming to its peak? I'm not quite getting that. That part is a little lost to me. What am I actually looking at? They were able to effectively kill this man, his family, his grandbaby, his wife, in one spot when they knew they had these type of enemies looking for them, who wanted to harm them. Why was that child anywhere near them? Why was he in country? I can't shake this. And the reason why I can't shake this is because I'm watching a good portion of people who have family over there in my country celebrating the process of the deterioration of their country. So for me to see that, I have to assume there's some leaks over there, man. There has to be some people over there who are as comfortable as these people over here with what is happening there. You want me to believe that Iran is the good guys? Everybody there is on lockstep. They have no leaks. But the president was able to get assassinated with his grandbaby during wartime. They didn't help no more than to send some cash over and some guns over to some people who were having their entire people slaughtered. And I'm supposed to believe you on their side, but you had the ability to bomb people relentlessly for freaking 20 days who were doing this shit, and decided not to till well after the genocide had lost most of its people. You want me to think that you believe that America and Israel would agree to a ceasefire when you've been watching this shit just like I have, and you know damn well they don't. They never agree to this. What am I looking at? I'm saying to y'all that if I were a bit dumber, I could just look at all this and say, yo, America's the bad guy, Iran is the good guy, and Iran's gonna save the world. But the reality is, Iran could have stopped this shit 75 years ago and didn't for whatever reason, and I'm trying to figure out what's the angle, dog. What's the angle, dog? The moment they blew up the first neighborhood in Palestine, if Iran really had the resistance back, they should have been sending them bombs over to Israel ass that day. Shouldn't even got to a point where they was blowing up all these people and destroying all the communities, all this shit, dancing and fuck shit. None of that. They should have been sending bombs to them people just like they did when they were hit themselves. They didn't. And I'm trying to figure out why. I need somebody to explain to me why. And I'm watching almost a city full of Persians in Los Angeles dancing and celebrating the destruction of their own damn people. And I'm supposed to believe they don't have any leaks in their damn government. This is horse shit. It's horse shit. And I know exactly how much reach and how evil and how devious and how blackmail-y these Zionists are. So I'm pretty damn certain they got a couple of them over there in that IRGC. That's essentially what I'm saying to you. That I sense that they got some people over there. And that's why a lot of this shit has gone the way it's gone. That's what I'm sensing. Something is off. Something don't smell right, dog. Something don't smell right, dog. And I ain't saying everybody in Iran is fine with the bullshit. Obviously they're not. But I don't think they're asking the right questions, maybe. Maybe. I don't think they suspect something's off like they probably should be at this point. Something is off, dog. Something is off. And for me, that's 3 strikes. That's 3. I see one thing that seems a little funny. Okay, that's one thing. 2 things seem a little funny. All right, it's a little fishy. 3. All right, now we're in territory where it's just starting to look a little weird. Now we're in the territory where I'm starting wondering, oh, what the fuck? Israel is too damn comfortable moving around the way they are. I'm sorry, they're too fucking comfortable. And everybody that I am paying attention to who are shot callers are moving around comfortably as ever. Anytime somebody's about to bomb any fucking thing, they ain't never nowhere to be found in the places where they're getting bombed at. The shot callers, the people who are actually doing the calling of the shots, their names are out there. We know who some of these people are. Ain't none of them getting hit. None of them running for their lives. No attempt on none of their lives, bro. And you say you at war with the enemy, but you're not targeting any of the people who are calling the shots. The ones who are paying for all this shit. They're everywhere they want to be, dog. They're somewhere in Miami. They sit in my city. They're in Europe somewhere. They're on an island somewhere. They're flying back and forth wherever the fuck they want to go. Somebody tell me why nobody shot none of their planes out the damn sky. Saying they at war with these people. Are you sure you at war with these people? Or is this some performance nonsense that's going on right now? I'm looking at all the Lego, AI stuff. It's all cute. I'm loving it. I'm having a good time, bro. It's good. I like the propaganda. It's fun to watch. But this behavior is not passing the smell test, man. It's not passing the smell test. It is not. It's not passing the smell test. I tell you right now, if I'm effectively trying to exterminate some roaches or some rats or whatever the hell I'm trying to exterminate, I'm going to go to where I know the base is at. I'm not going to stomp out 2 roaches and think I've gotten the job done. I need to put down stuff that they're going to come to that's going to eradicate them permanently. That's not what's going on there, man. They're stomping out gumshoes and they're saying they're at war. I'm not seeing what's up right now. It's not making any sense to me. You're saying you're trying to protect people and people are dying left and right. I'm not. It's not coming together. It's not coming together, Iran. I'm not seeing what you're seeing, dog. I'm not seeing it. I'm entertained. But I'm not whole. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not whole. People moving around too damn comfortably who are calling shots, paying billions of dollars into the destruction of different places. I'm watching all these individuals who are settlers coming into Al-Aqsa Mosque, doing all types of stuff, pushing people aside, saying they're letting some people in, saying some other people can't come in. I'm looking at, you know, different things being passed in Israel that ultimately allow for them to kill some people, not others. And I'm sitting here, I'm saying, you're destroying Israel, but they still huddling together in these places and coming up with these laws that they're passing and popping bottles and shit ain't adding up, dog. It's not adding up. I'm sorry, it ain't adding up. You telling me you can bomb everything but where these motherfuckers at? That you don't get? That you're not actually eradicating the people who are calling shots? Off, dog. I'm just a guy. I don't know everything. I don't have all the intel of this. I don't know nothing. I'm just a guy who's fed up with watching genocide, fam. I really am. I'm at a point in my life where I've seen so much killing and so much dying of innocent people over the last 3 years that I'm losing my fucking mind. Literally. How many little girls have to die before these people are effectively removed from the equation? So that it's not possible. We outnumber them. The good outnumber the bad, dog. That's the point. Yeah, they got some stuff rigged. Yeah, they got some lawmakers scared, afraid that their secret's gonna come out and they doing their bidding. All of that that's fine, fam. At this point, I've absorbed that. That's what it is. Okay. But you're trying to tell me we can't stop these people for real, dog? We just sitting here watching them kill kids and we can't do shit about it? The part that messes me up is if it was a bunch of black people doing this shit, you would see so much violence, you wouldn't even make your head explode. They'd be killing black people, pulling us off the damn streets. It's because it's not black people that I've come to the conclusion in my little mind that people aren't meeting it with the urgency necessary to eliminate the threat. They're so incredibly bigoted, naturally, without actually being conscious of it, that the people who are doing this get to continue to do this because they have the right skin color to make people feel comfortable that this is maybe something they should handle a different way. But if it was a bunch of gang members or a bunch of Mexican people from South America doing this shit, suddenly you would see so much violence toward us, so much. White supremacy's racism has left them docile. And it's left them culpable to genocide. Comfortable with genocide, fam. But let this be a bunch of Africans coming into your country doing this shit, and you would have did public hangings. You would have brought back public executions to assure that this shit didn't continue if it was done by somebody like me. And that is why I'm here to say that we are disgraced. We're absolutely disgraced as a world. We've allowed what we're comfortable with to make it so that we're not meeting the urgency necessary, bro. We're allowing our docile nature and lessons learned from previous circumstances where doing things the wrong way led to the wrong results, and making us think that we're in the same circumstances and that we can't do those things to this situation, overcompensating for circumstances that didn't necessarily apply properly. Overcompensating, like, yo, man, we can't round up people like that. Because look what happened when we did it last time. You didn't have a reason to do it last time. This time, you have every reason to do that shit. It wasn't actually a threat last time. That was just you being evil. This time, these people really doing this shit. They really fine with this, man. You're paying into it. They're rigging your government, this and that and the third. I'm telling you, man, I've gotten to a point where I'm like, yo, last I checked, treason held a death penalty. If you're working in our country, in our government, and you commit treason, last I checked, they put you down. There is an entire government of people who are committing treason right now. They've allowed for a foreign agent to come in with genocidal intentions, using our tax dollars to engage in those behaviors. They are killing innocent people. We have all the evidence on camera. And they're still, with that evidence, coming back to us, lobbying for us to continue to support that for which is that genocide. I'm telling you that at this point, it is not irresponsible for me to consider them treasonous. And the consequences that come with that are probably a necessary reaction to meet the circumstances at hand, the urgency. The urgency to stop what we're seeing should likely be applied to the human beings who are engaging in this behavior. Because if these were black people, or if these were Hispanic people, or if these were Asian people, you would take drastic measures to assure that you neutralize the threat. And rightfully so, mind you. Because my tone doesn't change if it were. I just don't think I would have to be this outraged in order to see some change. I don't think I have to watch this many people die before I start seeing the urgency met. People are so convinced that people of color are the terrorists on the earth, and that people who are fair skin, olive skin, are basically fair game, fair individuals, whatever the case may be, could be this, could be that, normal, essentially. That when you see a bunch of people who are of that skin doing horrible things, you don't meet the urgency. And you're still sitting here waiting for the people of color to engage in the behaviors that you convince yourself that they're engaging in, that they are capable of engaging in. That energy has yet to be pushed toward the olive skinned individuals who are behaving this way. And that, my friend, makes all of us disgraced. Because when history comes about, we will have lost so many people to this, preventably, because we weren't able to think our way through our own damn racism. To properly identify what a win looks like as it pertains to our country, properly identify the culprits and what's necessary to neutralize them, to protect these children, to properly just overcome that for which has been in place for so long that is inaccurate. Children are dying. And I'm watching a world full of people just like, well, I'm not going. I saw a friend of mine this morning. She posted a meme that's going on right now. She was essentially saying, it was a guy dancing some type of whatever dance he was doing, and it said above his head, while the world is falling apart, this is what I'm doing at Disneyland or Disney World. And I'm sitting here saying, you don't see anything wrong with that? When you have a platform where people can come visit what you have going on that platform, and the only thing you can show us is what's going on in your world, and I scroll down and I see somebody else posting what's actually going on in this world, where people are actually going through real difficulties that require some awareness, and you're joking and conscious that you were ignoring it as if that's something to laugh about. The privilege of it all. To first not relate to anything that ridiculous and that drastic and it requires that much urgency, then to dare to make folly of it and to acknowledge that you only care enough to make fun of it. To say that you are enjoying your life and let the rest fall down. Like, I don't doubt that when we look back on the world, if we're lucky enough as a world to survive the times we're in, it will be that behavior that will be most disgraceful of it all. It wasn't the bad guys doing bad things. It was the rest of the world resting while it was happening. That has made it so that it was possible. Filth is going to be dirty. What were you doing to assure that things got clean? Were you standing idly and allowing things to get dirty, or were you doing your part to assure that things became clean? We collectively stood idly and weren't in the dark enough as it pertains to self-awareness to not know that we were doing so, which is absolutely and utterly disgraceful and disrespectful to the testimonies of those who have gone through things that we don't know of. Those who have told us, yo, I went through this, it was bad. This is what I needed during the times that I was going through it. And then the first thing one of us will do when we don't see the humanity pointed at us that we want is to point it out and say, oh, these people don't support me. People ain't supporting me. People haters this, people haters that. You're indifferent to real life suffering. But you want people to clap for you on your art post. You want people to celebrate you while you're celebrating yourself. Many of which you wouldn't even celebrate if they posted anything. The belly of the beast, this capitalistic belly of the beast society that we've all normalized is not normal. This is not how this is supposed to work. An animal will show you how to be compassionate. We have been locked in for a long time to absolute and utter devilishness. And this is what has become clear to me, man. It's clear. It is clear as day. This is why people are able to take our money and engage in genocide while we get to sit here and think we're good people as we allow for it to happen. It's because we collectively, with every passing subject, apply a little more selfishness, a little more selfish ambition to the point where we just allow for horrible things to happen so long as we keep our houses upright while it's taking place. I don't care how many people get hurt so long as I can keep my job. I don't care how many people are getting slaughtered so long as my friends are not shunning me. I don't care how many people are going through whatever they're going through so long as I'm not going through anything. And when I am, I demand you support me, or otherwise the world is just horrible and my God, all of you suck. Like, it's just, it gets to a point where it's like, I've gotten to a point where I do believe we're at risk for not surviving as a humanity. This generation is at risk of ending humanity because of its indifference and its comfortability with horrific things taking place so long as it doesn't affect them. And by the time it makes it to your door, you're so fat and happy, weak and lazy to where you just roll over or look for somebody else to come save you when you never came to nobody else's aid. Do the bare minimum in that regard and then think you're supposed to be given some type of peace prize. The world is at risk because we live this way, man. It's a complete risk because we think this way. Yeah, there's a lot of propaganda trying to coerce us this way or that way, but a good portion of us know better and just aren't choosing to do better, regardless of the presence of propaganda or anything else. We're just selfish, evil, comfortable, and indifferent to the suffering of others because we've never been through nothing. And that is a great sin. Because people are suffering. Suffering, man, and we could do something about it, and we choose not to because we're too comfortable, nestled in indifference, and the culture of indifference, and the culture of capitalism, to where we got to get our money at the expense of whatever happens. I got to get mine regardless of what happens to anybody else. At some point in time, we are going to be faced with the reality of the fact that that is what ultimately brought about so much destruction to the world. And when that destruction meets us, we'll then understand why we should have came to the rescue for somebody else. We should have understood right then why we should have been doing things that were drastic to our comfort zones, to our norms, to prevent it from happening to somebody else, so that it would never come our way. And we were too comfortable and self-absorbed and privileged to actually do anything about anybody else's problems. And so that's really what I see here, man. We do the bare freaking minimum and think we're the best people in the world. And we're going to be disgraced. America is going to be known as the country that let the evil ones infiltrate itself and use its resources, its money, its weapons to massacre innocent people. We're going to be known for that. It's going to be one of the first things history books say of us 300 years from now, is that we let the Jews kill everybody. Bdf 44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.